Thanks to those joining us here live and those that'll be joining us on the archive. D Style here, aka Dragon Style, aka Eric. Being joined by the one and the only Christine. I am in the ring with Christine. So
You
let's go ahead
are in the ring with Christine on
and
Box
if
Topics.
we're here on Box Topics episode
hmm
16. 16 of them
Wow,
now.
wait, 16?
16.
Dang, who
It's
would
the
have thunk?
sweet 16 of Box Topics.
My goodness.
That's right.
16.
I mean,
Okay.
it's almost catching up to my age.
I'm
I'm just
saying
saying,
almost.
just almost
Almost.
there, just a couple more. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, and
there.
then you'll be legal.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So a lot to talk about before we get it started. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Christine's channel if you like the content. Hit that like button if you're listening on the archive. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And before we get this started, make sure you check out her new show on Friday. She just had the one and the only, my guy, Ohio runs boxing. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So make sure you check out that show. They talk about Alicia Baumgartner. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. You got to go check it out and watch it. Like, it's
Go
just the
check
way
it
it
out.
is. Check it out and watch it. And of course, make sure you check out Christine, Crystal, Nika every Wednesday here on this channel for women
Yep. Your
crushing it
favorite girls.
Wednesdays. Las favoritas.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? They're
Oh,
top.
boxing pound for pound, Jack. Good evening. We're still morning too. Well, I am. Thanks for showing love. Appreciate you.
Hey, he
We're
does
gonna
say
get
good
to all
evening.
that.
Yeah, good evening, Christina and D Style. Still morning. Just came to show some love. Hey, man, take your time. We appreciate you showing up. Boxing Pro, how's it going? And
Yes.
Christine doing double duty. She's
Yes.
even commenting
Thanks
on
for
her show.
showing
Oh,
love.
look at this. She's just doing everything. You know what I mean?
I'm getting
Um,
good. Oh my God, I'm getting good. I'm getting really good.
you're doing your thing. I can't hate. That's why I've
Yeah,
never hated. You know what
Hey,
I mean?
I can't.
That's why I give you your credit. You know what I mean? I never get my credit, but I'm gonna
Thank
give
you.
you your credit. You know what I mean?
Oh, you always get your
Shout
credit,
out
man. We're just talking about.
shout out to Brian, aka Boxing Historian. Thanks for joining us. So let's start. It's hard to tell where do we want to start with this. So let's just start off with the fight. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so
Let's.
big fight in Liverpool. We had Natasha Jonas defending her IBF welterweight title against Michaela
Mm-hmm.
Mayer, who was fighting at 147 pounds, trying to become a
Yep.
two division champion. She was a unified champion before at 130 pounds. She lost it in a close and, in my opinion, controversial decision to Alicia Baumgartner. Speaking of her, but now here she is trying
Mhm.
to win this belt. This fight was talked about. You talked to Natasha Jonas like before the fight even happened, right? So you know, the fight happened.
Ye-
Here it is. Ding ding. The bell rings, right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about the fight, Christine. How'd you see it?
Well, something that you just said is kind of it doesn't really make sense to me, and I want you to explain once we get deeper into
Go
this.
ahead.
But you
Sure.
said that she lost a controversial decision against Alicia, but you don't think
Sure.
this fight was controversial. So we're gonna dig into that. But I personally
Not necessarily what I'm saying, but we'll get there.
okay, well sometimes y'all don't know how to like say what you mean or mean what you say,
No, I'm gonna
but
say what I mean and say what I
we'll
mean, but we'll get there.
okay, we're gonna get to that.
Do you want to start off with that? You want to start with that?
Okay, you know what? Let's start off with that. Let's start off. So explain to me
So
exactly
let me
what you
explain to
meant.
you. Well, hold on.
Yes.
If I say controversial decision, I'm not a micro person. I look at the macro. Okay, so I look at the masses and what the masses are saying. I don't look at what I think, what I
Hmm.
personally think. Um, I think Mayer won the fight, but I thought it was close, right? But it was controversial because there's people that feel Mayer won the fight, and she didn't get the nod, and that's the masses dictate whether something's controversial or not. While in my opinion, the Natasha Jonas fight could have gone either way, I scored a draw. It's still a controversial fight because there's a lot of controversy all over social media about the fight. So it is a controversial fight. So that's what I mean when I say controversial. I'm looking at how are people in general, not myself. I'm not a self-centered person like that. You know what I mean? I look at what the people in general are saying.
I
That's
got
what
you.
I mean by that.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can dig it. Okay. I got what you're saying. I didn't see it that way as a draw. I would have liked it to be a draw because then we could have run it back. I saw it 6-4 in Mayer's favor, especially the last 3 rounds. She dominated. I believe that Michaela was imposing her will, imposing her power, her strength. We know that they couldn't hydrate over, 10 pounds. Um, and but she still was the stronger, and to me, most I don't know, her she had the clearer punches in my opinion. I know that you and I talked earlier, and you thought that Jonas landed a lot of the better body shots.
Early on,
She
yeah.
and she did, but it didn't seem to affect Mayer in the way that she couldn't dig deep, and she did. Um, I don't know. Whenever I know that we talked about robberies and this and that, I don't usually say robberies. I'm not even going to say a robbery now. When I think of robberies, the first fights that come to my mind are Romero and Barroso, and probably McCatskill and Breakus's first fight. Those are just at the top of my head.
Hmm.
So I don't say robbery. Do you think that this warranted it being called a robbery for the people that thought that Michaela clearly won?
Look, I'm gonna respect anyone who feels Michaela won because it's very, very plausible. But I would not call this a robbery. I wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
I thought the fight was too close to call it that. I think people are calling it that out of convenience. I think just because a fight's in Liverpool doesn't mean it's a home cooking, right? Just because it happens to be the backyard of Jonas. Um, I think I believe I think I know why most people believe Mayer clearly won the fight. I think I know why. Not
Why is that?
everybody, because people remember it's a "what have you done for me lately" mentality. They remember how Mayer was closing the rounds, right, and how she ended the fight in the last 3 rounds. Is I believe that's what people are remembering. That's what stands out. I also think Mayer the rounds Mayer won were more decisive. Like a lot of things I'm hearing, oh, Mayer hurt
Absolutely.
her. Mayer landed the cleaner shots. There was this one time that Mayer did this, Mayer did that. But okay, but those are the rounds that Mayer won. So like there's rounds that I believe Jonas just edged out.
Hmm.
It, right? I can read you my scorecard right now. Round one, I give it to Jonas. Round two, I had it as a swing round. It could have gone either way, but I gave it to Jonas. But if somebody gave it round two to Mayer, I'm not going to complain that it could go to Mayer. Round three, I gave it to Jonas. Round four was a very clear Mayer round. I think she could have missed her right hand, and that's where she made the adjustment in the fight, in my opinion. However, round five, another close round, I think Jonas made some adjustments, and I think she won that round. Round six and seven, I gave to Mayer. I had them. I had those rounds really close, but I felt Mayer edged them out. Round eight was the final round I gave to Jonas. Again, another swing round, and then I gave Mayer rounds 9 and 10, which she clearly won. I saw some people give Jonas round nine. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But round
Mm-mm.
9 and 10 are definitely Mayer rounds. Those were probably the two most dominant rounds of the whole fight, in my opinion. So if you take rounds four, rounds nine, and round 10, yeah, Mayer did a lot of damage in those 3 rounds. Like those are clear Mayer rounds where she clearly won. You cannot make an argument for Jonas, in my opinion. And then, of course, I think she took over in those middle rounds, like round six, seven. I think Mayer won. I thought Mayer dominated the second half of the fight. I gave her round six, seven, 9 and 10. But the first half of the fight, I feel Jonas edged it out. I had it a draw at it five rounds apiece.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it that way. I don't go round by round. I just like look at the overall picture and just
We
at
have
the end
to.
of it. No, I don't have to. I can do it however I do it. And I gave Michaela 6 rounds. I gave Jonas 4. Socially Scientific said Jonas also clinched, and I was going to bring that up in multiple rounds on the verge of being dropped. Mayer was never in trouble. Absolutely not. I totally agree. She was never in trouble. She was imposing her will. For the first bell, she was going forward, and Jonas was going back. And then whenever Jonas did get hit with a good punch, she was clenching. I looked at their body language. I looked at their faces. I really believe that Mayor, I wanted to give her 7 rounds, but I said, you know what? Let me go back and look. Okay, I'm going to give her 6, and I'm going to give Jonas 4. But at the end of the day, whether it was in her hometown, whether whatever round she won, Jonas got her hand raised. I personally, like I said, would have liked to see a draw, even though I didn't feel that it was a draw, because I do want them to run it back. And I know Mayor today, she put out something on Twitter, and she was, giving her props and giving respect. And she was saying, and respectively, I hope that Jonas wants to run it back. I don't know if you got to see that, but what are your thoughts on that?
I think they should run it back. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was a very close fight. The public, I would say about 70% of the public feels Mayor either won or a draw. And there's
Mm-hmm.
just another like 30% that think draw or um, um, Jonas, but we're only 1 round apart.
I don't, well, I don't, are
Well,
we?
you you,
You know,
you you scored at 6-4. I had it 5-5. Like,
Okay, well, I really wanted to score it 7-3, but I was trying to not be so biased. Social
but
Scientific said Mayor actually outlanded Jonas in 7 rounds. That's how I feel too. That's what I really, really feel. But
I think what we need to realize is this. I respect what you're saying that you're not going to score round by round, but that's how you score boxing fights. You got to go
no,
round by
well,
round.
obviously, no duh, obviously, but I'm not a judge. I'm not sitting there at around the ring, and this is what I do in my head, you know. Of course you do round by round, but whenever I'm
Right.
looking at the whole picture, and then I go back and then I come up with my 7-3 or 6-4.
Of course, but here's the thing. I'll be honest, if I just watched it and I wasn't scoring it like a judge does, because that's how I
Mm-hmm.
score it,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably walk away saying, "Oh man, Mayor won." That's probably how I would feel, right? Because she won the story of the fight. She closed strong. She had the bigger moments. But unfortunately, and this is why I think there's a lot of hysteria on Twitter, right? And why people are out here screaming robbery and all this is because they're going off of the emotion that they felt in the fight and how they felt. They're looking at a woman just survive at the end and one closes strong, and that's what they remember, right? But that's not how the judges are instructed to score, and
No, of course
why
not.
that's an well. Let me just say this: the reason that's an important point because people need to stop saying that the judges robbed Mayor and they are it was a home cooking, and if you're going to make a claim like that, not you, Christine, but just people
Mhm.
that are saying that. Okay, well, you need to show me how it's impossible for the judges to have it that way because I cannot find people that are calling this a robbery to give me they can't give me the rounds that they gave Mayor. Okay, and all be in sync. Everyone's rounds are all over the place for this fight. Right, I'm seeing some people give Jonas round 9, which I disagree with, but I'm seeing it. I'm seeing some people give Mayor round 5. I disagree with that, but they were giving Jonas round 2, but some gave Mayor round 2. Like everyone's all over the place with it, right? And if
No,
you go
oh,
round by
absolutely.
round, it could go either way.
Absolutely. And we as fans, we are emotional. Absolutely, we're emotional because this was a very emotional fight for so many reasons. There were, Mayor was coming back from a loss, a controversial loss. She's going into Jonas's backyard. She's going up in weight. If you're a Mayor fan, yeah, you're going to be emotional. And if you're a Jonas fan, I mean, she is Miss GB. They said it there, and she's at home and with all of her people, and so it was a very emotional fight. And then again, too, it was the main event. Two women, two badass women going at it. Jonas putting her belts on the line, and yeah, it's emotional. And that's why I try to sit back and use my boxing brain because I don't want to be biased and I don't want to be emotional. But if I didn't know either one, I clearly thought that Mayor won. Now, does it matter what I think? No, because I'm
Of
not a
course it
judge.
does. You're Christine. What
Well,
do you mean? Of course it matters.
yeah, anyway, no, but it doesn't matter. Her hand did not get raised, you know. Um, and it sucks, but it happens all the time. Unfortunately, this happens all the time.
Shout out. Let me give a quick shout out to
Yes,
the chat, the great
please.
chat that always shows up, always supports. All right, Boxing Pro, Boxing Pound for Pound Jack. Once again, we appreciate you. You're going through some hard times. You're still tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you
Um,
so much. So sorry.
and Aryan Yuda, did I pronounce it right? I'm not sure. But shout out to you, Boxing historian Brian. Of course, Crystal in the building. Check her out every Wednesday with Christine. She says, "Go girl." You know what I mean? What about the guy? No go guy. What's going
Nah,
on right now? Nah,
nah.
nothing. Larry Liston, women's boxing can sometimes be hard to score because of 2-minute rounds, in my opinion. I want to touch on that, but before we get there, Mayor won 6-4 against Alicia, but it was a robbery. I had a 2 Mayor Jonas hometown cooking. Well, there you go. Larry Liston, close fight. A lot of people were divided who they thought won. Says Larry Liston. Socially scientific. Once again, thank you for the support. I do not think it was close. Jonas won 3 rounds at most. Mayor won over the second half of the fight, outlanded her in 7 rounds. Control the
Mm-hmm.
pace, real estate, won by every metric. Shout out to HLD in the building. All right. Unfortunately, we can't go through every comment, but we appreciate you all on here, of course. Jesus M in the building as well. Shout out to you. Lance Mayer. Okay, 1 through 4. Jonas, keep going. I'm not sure what that means. What, maybe 4 rounds for Jonas? Or I'm not sure. Do you get it?
No, I'm not
All
sure.
right. Okay. Larry, listen, did have Mayer edging it out. Mayor wants to know who's paying me. Well, not Christine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. No, no,
And
no, no. If I
I
was getting
know, Lance,
paid, I
right?
mean,
So I mean, right? That's like, who's paying
this
this
is how
guy
the
for
rumors
real?
start. Like, you know what I mean? What's going on
Hey,
right now?
hey, I didn't
All
tell him to
right.
pick a side. He just did.
Okay, we got Mr. Lopez, 5'5" or 6'4" man. That's pretty close, Christine.
Well, I said 6'4", but really 7'3", but 5'5",
Well, you're only 1 round away. That's just, you flip 1
Yeah, hey,
round.
that one round makes a big difference.
Well, you flip one. It's not like flipping a
Mm-hmm.
house. It's just a round. Like, you just flip 1 round
Mm-hmm.
and you're good.
Yeah,
You know?
one round makes a big difference.
Well, let's read one more from Crystal here. The judges' scores were split, not certain the home locations of the judges. I need to run back for that info. One judge did have it 7-3 for Mayor, so split was,
Mm-hmm.
however, yeah, the one for Mayor did have it wide. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Not even you had it that wide, Christina. I'm just saying.
well, that's okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
1 round makes all the difference in the world. Remember, you said it. I mean,
It absolutely does. Obviously.
but the 2 judges for they were close. It's not like a judge had like 10-0 Jonas, or she had
I
a good
mean,
amount of rounds.
really, it doesn't really matter because who had their hand raised at the end. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever they scored it, however you scored it, she didn't get her hand raised. You can
And of
call it
course,
home cooking. You can
yeah.
call it a. Some people call it a robbery. I didn't call it a robbery, but you can call it home cooking. I mean, I could go with that.
Lisa Bales always supporting. We definitely
Yes,
appreciate you.
Lisa,
We got Remy. I can't find him. Oh, there he is. We got
my
Remy in the
guy,
building.
my
He had a
brother.
96, 94. Jonas. I'm just saying. You know what I
It's
mean?
okay. It's okay. I still respect him.
Ariane says 95% of peeps on the internet that had Mayor winning easily.
Hmm.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean,
That's
look,
true.
a lot of great comments, guys. Keep them coming. We do read them all. Social scientific. I don't know how you outland 7 rounds, be the ring general, show more effective aggression, and lose. Jonas' defense wasn't good enough to neutralize 3 other scoring criteria. Socially scientific. Okay. Slight tendencies in the building. I have Mayor winning 7-3, 6-4 being generous. England judges has always been in the shit house. Man, he's just attacking. attacking England. You know what I mean? All right. Mark Nash says shared. We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
A shout out to him. Solar Chili Scientific with a super chat.
Thank
Okay.
you. Woo.
And we'll have Christine read that. Go ahead, Christine.
Just so I'm not donating, only when Crystal is on. Love you, Christine. I just won't flirt because you're married. LOL, D style, go guy.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yes, I am.
Shout out to Socially Scientific. All right. And shout out to Crystal too. Shout out to her.
Yes.
Hector Barrera. Hey, Christine. Hey, Alta Mayor 1, 96, 95. A lot of mayor scores.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing a lot of 96, 95, 96,
Okay.
94. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I'm not seeing any 10-0. I'm not seeing 8,
I mean,
9,
nobody
1.
said 10-0 either way.
Mayor straight right and straight right jab. I think straight right.
Yeah, straight right.
It was on point.
Yeah, Natasha's I was messed up.
Can you guys give son Hector a happy birthday shout out, please?
Yes, happy birthday to your son Hector. Yay!
Estas son las mañanitas. And Christine will sing the rest. What was saying?
No, I can't sing. But happy birthday to your son. Hope he has a fabulous, fabulous day.
Yeah, but my mic disconnected in there. But happy birthday to Hector. Shout out to him. Okay. Shout out to you, Hector. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You've been shouted out by Christine. I mean, what else does he want? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
okay.
Mata Boxing Report in the building as well. All right. A lot of people to check.
Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much.
It's
y'all are fabulous.
It's hard to keep up. It's a good show. We love it. All right.
Absolutely.
Christine.
Mm-hmm.
You asked, should they run it back? Great question. But do you believe Jonas will run it back? Do you think it's going to come down to business and if a bigger opportunity comes around or something? Like, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think it would have to come down to business. And now, as far as Jonas wanting to run it back after the destruction that she endured, no, I wouldn't think that she would. But I know that she said that she wasn't going to stay in the game forever and she was going to have a few more fights. She's not getting any younger. And who else could she fight, honestly, that we would all want to see and pay for besides the rematch with Mayer? So I think after she gets to go home and spend time with her daughter and relax and they start to talk to their people, she talks to her people, I just think this is the smartest way to go. And I think that they should and will run it back. She's an intelligent woman. What are your thoughts? Are they going to run it back? Should they?
I think they might just run it back, and I'll tell you why. Jonas doesn't seem keen to work with Matchroom, so I don't see her like doing a fight with a Matchroom fighter, for example. And then when I look at Boxer, like who else do they really got? They have some younger talent, but then like they're not as well known as Makila Mayer, so there wouldn't be like it'll be tough fights, but no, they're not big names. So I do believe there's an excellent chance that they'll run it back. I do.
Yeah.
And I don't see why not. First of all, it was an exciting fight. It was a close fight, and people are talking about it, and they're going to be talking about it all week. Those are the type of fights you want to run back. I don't, and we're going to talk about this because I'm not a fan of rematch clauses because it forces us to watch fights that are not even competitive. Did anybody really want to watch like Camboza's fight Haney again?
No. There's some that we really want to see, and there's some that we're just like, no.
Yeah,
no.
I like the old-fashioned way, Christine. I like it was a great fight, so let's run it back.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not satisfied with that win. I want to prove I could beat you clearly. Oh, I want my get back. I should have won, but let's run it back. Like Floyd did not have a rematch clause to fight Castillo again, but he did it because people were saying it was a close fight. Some felt Floyd won. So what did he do? Okay, let's run it back then, right?
And I think the buildup could be better the second time around. The shit talking, it could be better.
100%. I did notice, by the way, that backstage anyway, apparently Mayor's team won the debate about the guard, right? That big guard that Jonas would wear, she wasn't wearing that. Not for this fight. So it is what it is.
Mm,
But here's
mm.
the thing. Before we continue, shout out to Remy with a super chat. Go ahead, Christine.
Thank you, Remy. Outlanding doesn't mean a fighter won. When the punches are weak and meaningless, Mayor messed up with no clause. Much love, y'all. Rematch, please. This is the thing. So the champion has the option of making the rematch or not. I mean, Mayor could say, in the contract, I would like to have a rematch if I lose, but the champion doesn't have to respect that. The champion calls the shots. And in this situation, Jonas was the champ. So
Mm.
even if Michaela would have said, I want a rematch if I lose, it doesn't really matter because she wasn't going in as the champion. But I get
Yeah,
what you're saying, you know.
like I just think like in the Mayweather example, he ran it back with Maidana and Castillo because people were saying they were close, so he ran it back to prove he's better by winning in decisive fashion in the rematches, right?
Hmm.
That's what you do. Like Canelo rematch Golovkin because what people were saying. Like he ended up doing it. These fights didn't have rematch clauses.
Right.
Um, the reason I'm making my point is I don't want it to become a norm where every title fight has a rematch clause.
Yeah, no, that would be lame, and that would be just like, no. Yeah, I don't want
We
that
don't
either.
need that. Like just because
No.
in this case it would have benefited us, right? And it would have
Hmm.
benefited Mayor. It doesn't necessarily mean that we want it as a norm. We need these
No.
fighters to do it because they want to do it. The
Agree. And
reason,
because we want to see it. We want it.
yeah,
We're the ones paying.
100%. Like the same reason they fought each other the first time should be the same reason they want a rematch, right?
Right.
Which brings me to your favorite commentator, Christine, the
Oh
dog,
Lordy.
Hall of Famer,
Hmm.
Timothy Bradley.
Hmm.
Look, let me say this. I don't have a problem with Tim.
Hmm.
I'm sure he's a nice guy and all that, but I just don't. A couple of things. I didn't like how he kept complaining about the fact that it's only 2 minutes after every round. We get it, Tim. We already know it's 2 minutes. Stop bringing the mood down. It's a great fight. Just let it be, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think he was a bit over the top with the like, oh, I'm shaking. I wanted to cry watching the fight. I mean, come on, it's a boxing match, Tim. Come on.
Mm.
But whatever. Like that's not a big deal. It's just a side note. But I don't like how he just I don't know what happened. He just went on a tirade after the fight,
Yeah.
talking about Mayer's team. His coaches aren't fixing anything. She makes too many mistakes. Her manager didn't protect her. I know what to do, but I'm not going to tell you. If you want my services, then call me. But I ain't going to tell you what to do because I know what to do. You need to get
Yeah.
those rematch clauses, or else you don't know what you're doing. You're incompetent. You're this. You're that. Like TG was going in.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about this before too. It just makes you wonder, like, what's really going on, Tim? Like, do you have some kind of animosity against the team? Did somebody not let you give them advice? Or, I mean, I'm just saying, something must have happened because he was very negative and almost hateful, and then at the end of it all, he's so emotional and starts crying. And there's nothing wrong with crying. There's nothing wrong with being emotional. The point is, before that, during the fight, you were like criticizing her and her team like at every turn, and it was annoying as shit. And if I wasn't in a theater, I would have fucking turned that shit down or off. I couldn't take it.
Oh, that's right. You're watching the theater and you don't got the remote control or thing.
No, I
And
didn't have
then
the
it's
remote
what.
control.
But did he go like this though? Did he go like this? Like, to
I
cover your ears?
la 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 la.
But like, what? Who is he? Like, I've never. Maybe I'm probably wrong about this, but I don't remember off the top of my head a commentator going in on the
Mhm.
management
No,
because there was
I
no
know.
rematch clause for so like what do you mean, Tim? She wasn't a mandatory or something like
No,
that. She wasn't.
he knows how it works, right? I mean, he's in the business. Like he knows they can't just demand a
Well,
rematch
that was
clause.
his point. I'm in the business. I know what I would have done to get that rematch clause. Like, oh, really, Tim? Like, you would have gotten a
Really.
rematch clause.
And maybe they did try. Maybe
Yeah,
they
and you
did.
know what?
But guess
It's
what?
shout out to Joe B from Ringside Reporter.
Yes.
He said it looked like
Beep.
Bradley was applying for a job to be a man. I was telling that to Christine backstage. I like, is he trying to like shit? Like, is he like, Mayor,
Yeah.
hire me? Like, is that what's
Right.
going on?
Right. Right.
I mean, I think, you know what I think? I think her team did a phenomenal job getting her a title shot at welterweight in her
Absolutely.
first fight at welterweight.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Absolutely.
sure the team did a great job making her get paid. I'm sure she got paid. It was a
Hmm.
big event. Like from a
Hmm.
management's point of view, I don't think the management did anything wrong.
No, he did great. He did wonderful. He did great. It was fabulous. And maybe he knows that his commentating days are coming to an end. I don't know. Maybe that he's trying to apply for a different position. Um, Lisa Bales says we need some female commentators. You know, I was screaming for Christina Poncher and Jamel Herring. You know, I was like, well,
That would have
where
been
they at?
great.
Where they
I'll be
at?
honest with you, like that would have been better. I mean, and they probably wouldn't do it though because they usually commentate with Mayor. So
Yeah, yeah,
like,
I
but but
know, and I'm sure that that had a lot to do with it.
but it would have still been better.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? I think Herring and I don't want to say that too much because it kind because Bradley is your coworker. I don't want to make him feel awkward. But I
Hey,
just didn't.
they're not saying it. We are.
I'm
We're
just saying.
saying it. So we can say what we want. We have our opinions and we have our
I
favorites, and we can say what we want.
yeah, Christine's unfiltered today. Like, I'm gonna say whatever the hell I want. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like
just
shit.
saying, it's like we can have our opinions. We're not
Are you right?
accusing anybody of anything. We are just stating our opinions, you
Gotta
know?
cry to sell, I guess. What did you make? This is one of the smaller. It wasn't a big deal, but what did you make of him saying he got emotional during the fight? It was such a great fight, and like,
Like I said, I mean, anyone, you know, that wants to get emotional. I was emotional myself. I mean, in a different way. Um, but I think it was after everything that he was saying, and then he talks about, and he kept, like you said, talking about like, oh, it's only 2 minutes. We know it's only 2 minutes. We know this. We're not
you
going to
know your
add a
point,
minute.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we knew this, and then at the end, I'm so emotional. This was such a great fight. Well, if somebody wasn't watching the fight, but they were just listening to you commentating, they wouldn't be so sure there was a great fight. So what? You know what I'm saying?
he was shedding on the fact that it's only two. Hey Tim, maybe the fact that it was 2 minutes is part of the reason why it was exciting to watch Tim. If that ever occurred to you, Tim, you know what I mean?
Right. Thank you so much, Al Money 231. I appreciate you. Super
Yeah,
chat. Love it.
I'm trying to get this up here so people could see it, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out. Shout out to all many. We definitely appreciate the super for whatever reason. I hope StreamYard fixes this, but they don't show the sticker. You know what I mean?
I see a sticker on the screen. It says, "Hey you." I see
It's,
it
there it
on
is.
YouTube. Yeah, I
Hey,
see it.
you know what I
Hey
mean?
you.
Like we got to show it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
there you go. There you go. I love it. So cute.
So you guys get super stickers. We'll try to share it on the screen just like that. So,
Yes,
uh,
absolutely.
but thanks so much, brother. We appreciate it. What's this StreamYard? You know what I mean? You know what I'm just saying.
Right,
But
right. Let's step it up.
let's step up your game a little bit, just a little bit. You know. But hey, by the way, shout out to everybody listening on Twitter as well. We're live on Twitter or X as well.
Yes.
Shout out to the X crowd. If you want to join the chat, come to YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, go join the chat and
Yes,
join the
please.
conversation. Shout out to Mill City out there. Shout out to them.
Thank you.
HLD, Lisa Bales, once again, Nando
Yes.
Llamas. And I don't know if I shouted him out, but shout out to him.
Nando.
He did say that, you know what I mean? Christina's Monday Night Raw. Like, there you go. Christina's
Hey,
War. You know what I mean?
hey, this weekend was very emotional for me too, man.
Yeah. um, and look, I just wasn't a fan of Bradley's rant.
I wasn't either.
In my opinion, it's very unprofessional to comment on things that Bradley can't possibly know about.
Right.
He doesn't
Right.
know what Mayor's team did behind closed doors negotiating this fight. And part of it
Right.
is like at the end of the day, Mayor signed because she was probably happy with the deal, right? Because they're
Mm-hmm.
prize fighters at the end of the day. Like she's yeah, she wants greatness. She wants to be a two division champion, but she wants to make money at what she's doing as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure like they hooked her up from that perspective. Shout out to Lee Groves, by the way.
Look at
Um,
his comment.
what you gonna do when Christina D style run over you, brother?
I love it.
But
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, sorry.
that's not Hulk Hogan, but I like it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What you
well,
gonna do when it comes
no,
for you, bad
yeah,
boys,
that's where I
bad
was going
boys?
with. That's where I was
And then
going. My
and then
bad.
there's that part that no one knows what the fuck they're saying in that song. Don't chuck a
Right.
teen, like a dib, hey. Remember the Bad Boys
Yeah,
movie? That shit was
yeah,
hilarious.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay, this is funny. Ringside Reporter Live. Bradley was acting like he was on ecstasy. If that's how he acts on ecstasy,
So
allegedly, Ringside
here's my
Reporter.
thing. Like Christine, in the history of boxing, how many perfect fighters have we ever seen?
None. Perfect, none.
So when he's sitting there like, oh, the team, like, I mean, he's not naming them, but like when he's like, oh, the team, they haven't fixed or problems in the ring, she's squared up, and you don't got to do anything about it. You don't got to listen to me. Like
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
what made Bradley exciting was that he was always in these great fights because he was getting hit. Bradley, in the Provodnikov fight, you were out on your feet like for half that fight. Like,
Yeah. I didn't even want to bring up his career and I didn't want to do that. You're doing
uh-oh,
it. I didn't want to do that,
uh-oh.
but I just believe that my mama used to say, when you point your finger at somebody, you have three pointing back at you. So it's like, let's give credit where credit is due. There's nothing perfect. Um, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, y'all
Look,
making fun of me because I didn't know the Hulk Hogan. I'm sorry.
it's all right. It's okay. Something tells me Christina's not ashamed of not knowing much about wrestling. I
You
don't
know
think
what?
she's.
I'm not. Okay, I'm
I don't
not.
think she's worried about,
No.
but I knew about it. I just putting that out there. But here's the thing. It was just unprofessional to me. It's
It
just,
was very
and
unprofessional.
how is that not going to make it awkward at ESPN if they're ever in the same building to call fights or like you
Well,
talk
that's
shit
the
about a
thing.
management or
Yeah,
trainer like
Michaela commentates too. That's the thing, you know. And she's heard. I'm sure she heard it all. She can run it back. She can listen to everything that he says. What's really going on there? You know.
I think he wants to be the manager and the trainer. I think is that what he
I mean,
wants?
that's what it sounded like. He wants some part of that. You know,
I mean,
because he would have done things so much differently, and it would have been a different outcome.
I think um I don't like nitpicking fighters because every fighter makes mistakes. No one has a perfect
Absolutely,
fight. I just think he was nitpicking. Like he was
he
just
was.
nitpicking at mistakes that she made.
Yeah,
I
agree.
mean, but she. What about all the good things she did, Bradley? Like it's just
Which
too much focus on the
you,
bad thing.
the last time that we've seen, so we know that Michaela can box. She can fucking box her ass off. Okay. The last time we saw her in a dog fight was with Amadouche. Um, I think even more so than with Alicia. And then to me, this fight just proved to me that she has so many different facets. Yes, she can box. Yes, she can bang. She can impose her will. She can go forward. She can, out muscle people. She showed me so many facets, and I was so proud of her. Um, and it's just I don't know. I don't know what more she could have done. as far as in Tim's eyes. What did he want her to do? You know?
It didn't deserve this weird scolding.
Mm-mm.
And I know he did say at the end of the day, the fighter can do what you train him to do. Like, who's that a shot at? You're throwing shots at the training, at the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
That's what you're
Yeah.
doing. Like,
Yeah.
after you said it was an amazing fight and you wanted to cry and both women did great, and then you turn around like you were holding all that in or something and just let it all out. It was bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you gotta go, you gotta leave, you gotta go to the host hotel. Everybody's probably in the bar and the restaurant, hanging out, and you're gonna have to go. It's gonna be very awkward, a lot of tension. I don't know. I just think that he should have been more professional, in my
I,
opinion.
I definitely agree. Shout out to Crystal. It's just I like Mr. Bradley's most of the time.
Hmm.
I like he commenting factor. There were times back in the day, man. There have been some awful commentators. I respect the lads and they position Bradley emotional. Bradley was emotional, but I don't know why. That's the bizarre part, Christine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
It is
was
bizarre.
talking like Michaela Mara just had a terrible performance
Yeah,
and
it was one of
like
the best performances that she's had, in my opinion. Um, you know, uh, D3 Us 0909. She needs to move her damn head and stay off the line. I do agree she's not perfect. I do agree she's not perfect. I do believe that she could use some more head movement and keep her head offline. I do. But I can also, and I'm not trying to justify anything. I could go down the
oh there it
line and I
is.
could critique others, and what they should have and could have done. Um, but for the most part, I thought she had an amazing performance. I really
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Like I thought she was moving her head off the center line very well when she's going to the
Mhm.
body late in the fight. I think
Yes. Yes.
obviously, like I get that maybe obviously when a fighter gets hit, they made a mistake. That's why they got hit.
Well,
Okay,
no, the thing is,
so
you're a boxer. You're in boxing. You're going to get hit. There is nobody that's going to go in there and come out unscathed. It's not going to happen. It's not. So, for the most part, like you said, I thought she was moving her head. Could she have maybe moved it a little bit more? Or,
and
yeah,
look,
but
I'm not one to talk because I never been in a professional boxing fight. So let me just say that right off the bat. However, when Bradley's out here making statements like, "Ah, Canelo, yeah, he can't even knock anybody out anymore." Like, I mean, Bradley, like you never knocked anybody out, like of significance. Like I'm just saying, like Canelo could easily come back and be like, "Who the fuck you knock out?" Like what an old Rios and Casamayor.
mm-hmm,
Like I'm just
mm-hmm.
saying, like sometimes I just when he goes like he just doesn't make sense, Christine. When
No, yeah,
When
yeah.
Shakur was being too defensive, he got on him and told him, "Oh, you got to take more chances. You gotta like you got to go in there and like try to be exciting a little more and da, da, da."
Oh, because he was exciting. He was exciting, wasn't he?
Well, this was after the Nakatila fight. Like he was very critical of the very defensive he was a little too negative, in my opinion, but he was defensive in that fight. And Bradley complained about that. But then he complains because Mayer was fighting, she was fighting an aggressive style.
She was. And this is true right here. Hubby says she fought her first lefty in this fight. He's asking, but it was her first lefty,
I believe it
and
was in
she
the
did.
pros, yes.
Yes, and yeah, in the pros, obviously, and that's she did excellent. She did great. And people were criticizing her. Oh, well, she's never fought in the pros. A lefty. How's she gonna do? She did great.
I thought she did great. And here's the thing. Jonas is a good fighter who's going to set up punches.
Absolutely, absolutely,
So, like,
absolutely.
do they think Mayer's going to just have this flawless performance and not get hit the whole
Mm-mm.
fight?
Yeah.
Like I just don't get it. Like it is bizarre. And you know what? When you dig to the body, sometimes that leaves you open upstairs.
Yes. Well, and you start losing your legs. And somebody made a comment, and I didn't see it. I wanted to read it at the time, but then we had so many other comments, which I'm so grateful for, where she looked a little shaky. Mayor looked a little shaky on her legs. Well, she did. There were some times she did look a little shaky, and those were after the body shots. In my opinion, that's what made her a little shaky. But then it's like when she went into the corner after, I think it was like the fourth or fifth round, she just was like rejuvenated again, you know. But in the
Mhm.
beginning, yeah, she did take some body shots and her legs were a little shaky.
I I don't know. We kind of went on Bradley there, but it is he goes on people's shit. And I'm just saying. I mean,
I respect, a lot of people, and I've respected him in the past, and you know, he might say something, that's kind of annoying every now and then, but that fight to me, that was the worst that I've seen him, and I just didn't like it.
yeah, I just a bit over the top there, Tim.
A
Just a
bit
little.
over the top, a bit
You
over
know
the
what I mean?
top for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
Christine never loses it like that in her lives, right? I mean, look, she doesn't go all out and go off on people. You know what I mean?
you know what? I really have to pray sometimes. Lord help me. Let me not be too emotional, especially on social
Nah, come
media.
on. But like, I just don't understand for the life of me, um, how he went from praising the fight and to both women to like, all right, I'm really gonna go in on Mayor here. Like it just or her team more specifically. And you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
argue like
yeah.
that probably stings more to a fighter when you go after their team. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we know that Coach Al is like a father to her. We know that Kate Karoma and she are very close. Uh, um, uh, Manny is newer to the team, but she has much respect, and I believe her manager's name is George. He's a great guy. He's done really great with her. I just I just think it was uncalled for. It really was. Let's
Do you
talk about
think
what's
he'll
going on in front
apologize?
of us. Do I think he should apologize? Is that what you?
Well, actually, yes. That and do you think he will?
Do I think he will? No. Do I think he should? You know what? I mean, who am I to say if someone should
You're
apologize or
Christine.
not? No, but the thing is like you have to really feel in your heart that
Okay.
you did something wrong. And I feel that I'm assuming that he doesn't feel that he did anything wrong. So why would he apologize? You know.
And I agree with Lisa Bills and Eric G. Hit the like button. All right,
Yes,
much
please.
much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all do that. Okay, it helps. It
Please.
helps
Thank you. Thank you so
immensely. You know what I
much.
mean? Well, I mean that's we kind of covered it all, Christine. But
We did. I mean, who else could either of them fight? That's, really. It comes down to
I
that.
want to see a rematch.
Definitely. I want to
I
see
think. Look,
rematch too.
speaking of robberies, look, I think the Sandy Ryan fight from a
Oh
couple months
Lord.
ago,
Absolutely.
that was a robbery, in my
It
opinion.
absolutely was. That was a robbery. That was a robbery.
And that should have been run back, and it wasn't because the
Yeah.
sanctioning bodies got in the way.
Yeah.
Um, but speaking of Sandy Ryan, she's in a division.
Hmm.
She's there, like just knocking.
She is. She is. Yeah.
She's in the mix. She's got one of the belts.
Absolutely. That's
And
true.
then McCaskill obviously is still there. It looks like she's going to Croatia. It looks like they didn't get the amount that they think they're worth, but that's where they're going. It is what it is. But there's a lot of smoke in this division for Mayor. And let me ask you this: do you think we'll get a McCaskill Mayor fight because they've had some beef in the past?
You know what? There's only one reason that I would want to see that fight, and that's just because I do not believe that McCatskill is one of the top notch women. I think she got beat the first time against Cecilia Brakes. They gave it to her. I'm not impressed by her. So yeah, why not? You know, but so somebody mentioned Lauren Price. Lauren Price is fuck a badass. She's from
Lo-
GB.
lo- Yeah, but I don't think she's gonna fight Lauren Price or Jonas. That is right
Yeah,
now
I'm just reading that. Yeah, that she is a name
because
that eventually,
because she's I think she's looking at the risk reward.
for sure,
I,
because she's just coming up. I mean, she went to the Olympics. She won gold,
mm,
I believe, and so
mm.
she is up and coming. But Jonas wants to. Lisa Bale says Jonas wants to fight McCatskill. Good, let's do it. Um, you know,
Well, McCaskill's got to win her next fight first. But
yeah, she does.
assuming she does, then
We
we're
just
talking.
talking. We just talking hypothetically and who we'd want to see, and you know, really the only fight to make is the rematch for me. Anything else
Yes.
would
Yep.
lackluster, but hey, whatever. You know,
So we'll see the rematch happen. So we're just the spectators out here. So we'll see.
that's right.
Hopefully it does. I want to thank everyone in the chat for
Yes.
tuning in. Hit the like
Thank
button
you.
before you
Thank
leave.
you.
Christine, any final palabras?
No, I just want to say I love the chat. Y'all are the best. And thanks to my guy, my bro, D Style. You always show up and show out. Um, Wednesday, come check the ladies out, your favorite girls, Crystal, Nika, and I. And then on Friday we have Freegan Fridays, and so we have a guest we'll announce tomorrow for Wednesday, and I have a guest that I'll announce for Friday. But check us out. Appreciate y'all.
Make sure y'all check it out. This is D Style for Christine. We're out. Peace.